Welcome to News You Can Use, presented by Supreme Lending. News You Can Use offers timely information related to the housing and housing finance industry that we believe will benefit you and your customers. This is News You Can Use.
Today we have Dr. David Rodriguez with us, and of course on all of our minds is this relatively new event called coronavirus. And it's created all kinds of interesting, let's say, outcomes to date. A lot of people are canceling travel. People are, let's say, buying out the stores of certain cleaning products. Once upon a time, they were wearing face masks, and now they're not. Let's just say it has all of us a bit concerned, and we don't have all the information we need yet. But I thought on this Friday afternoon that I would just invite Dr. Rodriguez to give us some insights. So Dr. Dave, thanks for being a part of Personal Professional Best.
Sure. Happy to be here. Tell me how I can help.
Well, so there's just under 100,000 reported cases at this point, and around 3,500 that have passed away as a result of it. Your perspective about kind of how should we think about it, and just in terms of death rate and number of incidents at this point?
Sure. Yeah, so the numbers you're giving there are worldwide numbers, and clearly the numbers in the U.S. Are very low at this point. So what we're dealing with here with coronavirus is a virus that has the family of the virus has been around for many, many years, probably goes back to the 50s. And the novel coronavirus, which is what we're dealing with now, is a new variant of the viruses that we've seen through the years. Now, most of these viruses are respiratory viruses. They're spread very similar to influenza A and B, by respiratory droplet. In other words, by coughing is generally how these things are transmitted. So close contact with individuals that are infected is how you're going to acquire the virus. Now, the good news is 80% of the people that get this virus are going to recover at home without any problems. Don't need to go to the hospital. Basically stay home, hydrated, stay away from other people until you're not infectious. It looks like that time frame right now is about 2 weeks. So most people that have had the virus are being quarantined for 2 weeks, the idea being that's probably the length of time after which they're no longer infected. It's only about 15% of people that are developing severe disease at this point. That looks like people that are primarily older, have known lung conditions, that sort of thing. Mortality rate right now somewhere between 1 to 3%. Typical influenza mortality rates are much lower than that. They're closer to probably 0.1 to 0.3%. So this is a higher mortality rate than the typical influenza A and B, but still extremely low. So I think we should all try to keep it in perspective.
Okay, so to the extent that what I heard you say is 80% of those that have been diagnosed as having the coronavirus, they're basically getting better, and they're dealing with what is essentially similar to having the flu.
That's correct. And again, most people in other countries are not in the hospital in that particular percentage you're talking about. They're at home, staying hydrated, basically letting the illness run its course, much like we would do if any of us had influenza or had a really bad cold or respiratory infection or something like that.
I think that's one of the things that we haven't heard a lot of, right? We've heard of death rates and incident rates, which are important to report at this stage and cycle of the news, if you will. But the idea that 80%, which is a substantive number, right, are actually getting better and going back to their normal life. Let me ask on those folks, can you get it again?
That's a very good question. It looks like it is possible to get it again, and that has come up in a couple of cases thus far. And so we don't know exactly what the dynamics of that are. Is it that you're getting infected with a different mutation, or is it that you're not completely making antibodies to protect yourself? So the answer is, it appears that it is possible to get it again. So we're hopeful that as a vaccine gets developed, which hopefully will happen over the next 12 months, that we'll be able to, prevent not only the subsequent infections, but also initial infections.
And is that how you would think about it right now, to the extent that no one could foretell the future? But imagine a year from now, we have similar to a flu shot today, that it would just simply include coronavirus, and that we would have this just be included in the family of flu, if you will?
Yeah, I think that's correct. Either we're going to have it included in the seasonal flu vaccine, or it will be a separate vaccine. You may remember back several years ago, we had the H1N1 influenza, and at that particular year, everybody got two vaccines. You got the original influenza A and B vaccine, and then you got another H1N1 flu vaccine. So it may be that scenario that's still going to play out. We don't know exactly what that looks like. We're not entirely sure at this point if this virus is going to be seasonal, like we see with typical flu illnesses that come up, in the fall and the winter, that sort of thing, or if this is going to become what we call endemic. Is it going to be a virus that's going to be around all the time, and we're going to have to deal with it, on a regular basis, or is it going to be more seasonal? That has not been answered yet.
Right. So we'll learn more about that and other things, obviously, in the days ahead. But I think in context, to try to keep, and that's what we're trying to do with this message today, to try to keep people from overreacting to things. Not that we want people to underreact, but we want people to appropriately react in their own lives. And the idea of an 80% kind of getting better, and then another, better than 15%, maybe getting hospitalized and going through some additional treatment, and the death rates being what they are today, which is, you've already reported, around 1 to 3%. Final question, which is, the simple one. Of course, we started out with the face mask for preventative purposes. Just give us real quick, David, the things that you would tell people to do to keep from actually getting infected to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. So first, let's talk about the face mask. First of all, face masks are useful for people who are already sick, who we're trying to prevent them from getting other people sick. So for a healthy person walking down the street wearing a face mask, or at the airport, probably not helpful. In fact, could be detrimental, because the thing about a face mask is you're breathing into that, and it's acquiring mucus and moisture, and that type of thing can actually attract bacteria and viruses. And then the other thing about a face mask is once the thing gets contaminated, then you have to take it off with your hands, and now your hands are contaminated. So the biggest thing you can do to keep yourself from getting sick, just in general, with viral infections, is wash your hands frequently. Minimum of 20 seconds of washing your hands. And when we wash our hands, we talk about the way we were taught to wash our hands before going into surgery. You need to wash each finger. You want to get all four sides of each finger. You want to get in between the fingers and the web of the hand, and then you also get the fingernails. So make sure you're doing a good job of washing and drying your hands thoroughly. The other thing is, don't touch your face. So if the way you generally acquire these types of infections is you get it on your hand and then you touch your face. You rub your nose, you touch your lip, you touch your eye. So that's generally the entry point for these types of infections. So that's the most important thing. Wash your hands regularly. Be very careful when you're in a public place and you're touching doorknobs and ATM buttons.
Elevator buttons.
Yeah, exactly. Elevator buttons. Various things you might do in a public setting. Maybe use a fountain pen, maybe use the edge of your cell phone, maybe use your elbow. Do something where you're trying not to, touch things that other people have already touched. It looks like the virus can remain alive if it's in a moist and mucus environment. It looks like it could stay alive anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. Like on a doorknob or some other location. So, keep that in mind. So you want to make sure those things are being cleaned regularly as well if you're in an office setting.
Hey, last question. So washing the hands all the time, I get that part of it, and doing it thoroughly. 2 minutes, I think, is what I heard you say, and make sure you get the details in terms of all aspects of the fingers, etc. Cold water, hot water, does it matter?
Oh, very good question. It's generally not emphasized whether you should use hot water or cold water. Generally when you're washing your hands, it's more of a mechanical thing. You're putting the soap on there, you're rubbing off the bacteria and the viruses, and then you're rinsing it off. So the temperature of the water is probably not crucial. It's probably more critical that it's, the ability to hit all surfaces and then to rinse off thoroughly.
Perfect. Dr. Rodriguez, listen, I know as a part of the Personal Professional Best program for you this year that you're taking Fridays off. I'm sorry that I asked you to join us on a Friday. And I'll be making sure I text you going forward on Thursdays to encourage you to make sure you spend time with your family and doing things that are fun in your life, because you work your tail off for all of us. And we appreciate you being a part of our program, and we appreciate you giving your advice today.
Okay, Pat. It's always good to talk to you.
You too, David.
I'll show up on any Friday for a good cause.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.